Welcome to the Future series, where we talk with real founders about building a business for the future. Whether you are scaling a business currently or starting your first side hustle, we aim to give you nuggets of information to help you succeed in the future of work. Today, we've got Ivan Gasparetto on the podcast from Techifide. How's it going, Ivan?
All good, man. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
No worries. Great to have you. Great to have you. Yeah, excited to chat through your sort of background, career, and then what you're up to at the moment. But I know that you've had an interesting career, more than 25 years in the tech space. It'd be great if you could give just a brief intro for listeners on who you are and what you're doing and who Techifide are.
Yeah, so 25 years in tech. About 10 years ago, 11 years ago, I moved to construction, tech for construction. By accident, I was with a friend at his house, and he said, "Hey, I'm gonna do this course tomorrow about BIM, and it's all about the 3D model. You're gonna love it. Why don't you come with me?" And I did. The day after, I enrolled into this course, and yeah. During the course, we were asked to create a document called EIR, and it's basically a project scope for construction. But my tech mind just said, "Well, is there a template out there? Is there some software that can help me?" And it turned out that there wasn't anything at the time. So I built a small application to generate this EIR. EIR stands for Employers Information Requirement. And we then built it and presented to our teacher at the time. And they were just blown away by the whole thing. And we thought we're going to be millionaires this time next year. So let's set up a company and try to sell this thing. 12 months on, I was in debt, and we didn't succeed, but it was interesting. It put me on this path in construction. And at the same time, I was running my outsourcing business, Techifide. We were just a software house. I was the main developer or solution architect, and I had my people in Brazil. So I managed to survive because I had this other business going on. But it put me on that journey. BIM Direct put me on that journey, and then I turned. There's no way back, really. Now I've been in construction since then. I met so many big companies, people, and when we were about to close down BIM Direct, Bentley Systems acquired one of Techifide's clients, and I, by accident, again, by just destiny, I became an officially approved supplier for people, and we grew our team with them. Then COVID hit, and then remote work became even more important, and we went from being a supplier to being the experts in the field, and then they decided to take over the whole, Techifide, and I sold our people to them, and I worked for them for 4 years until the beginning of last year, when we decided to restart Techifide as a recruitment only business, because we learned how to recruit well, how to filter the noise, and actually set up teams rather than just providing one man band to companies. Today we focus on clients that want long-term relationship rather than just hire someone and go. We want 3, 4, 5, 6 years contract. We want companies that want teams, and we have 10 16 people with different clients. I'm going to Brazil next year. We only hire in Brazil. I'm going to Brazil next month. Meeting with the people that we have, but also with the client. They're gonna. It's kind of a Brazilian summit, so it's gonna be interesting. Here we are. That's the journey.
Amazing. And so the original sort of Techifide one, like version one, I guess, was more of an outsourcing company rather than a 360 recruitment company.
Yeah, we were a software house, and with that, I had to learn to recruit well because I wanted people for me.
Yeah.
So we developed the skills to recruit back then. Actually, isn't something new. It came with that first version of us. We've been very, very successful.
Yeah. And how did you end up being part of Techifide and then Techifide? Were you one of the sort of founders, or how did that come about?
Well, when I was doing my master's degree, I chose a module called project management.
Yeah.
And in that module, I didn't do well in that module. I think was the lowest grade that I had. No, I passed, but it wasn't like wow, But I learned a lot, and I think it was then that I had the spark, because and I remember the teacher saying, explaining all about globalization and the idea that you can recruit, outsource elsewhere, and the challenge that come with managing teams remotely. And back then, it wasn't something that was so widely known, or people really didn't want to have companies didn't want to have people working from home at all. It was kind of a taboo thing, but I had the ingredients. I'm Brazilian. I understand their culture. I understand their language. I can choose people wisely there. I can take them through an interview process that will surface the cream. And I live in England, so I could have the clients here. I could leverage the cheaper talent that we have there, but I could pay them more than they earn locally. So they would earn more there. At the same time, people would pay less here, and I would take a cut. So it was like a magic formula, right?
Win-win.
Yeah. And so, I had that idea there, and I started with let's develop software for other people, and offer our services. That's how it started.
Amazing. And was that just a light bulb moment then, once doing
Yeah.
this project management course?
Yeah.
Amazing. So that's probably, did you just focus on the new business, which is why the grades went down, or?
No, I think you go through a journey, and you, when you are an entrepreneur, you start being jack of all trades. Really, you change your hat during the day 10 times, and you are the finance guy, the CFO, the CEO, the CTO, and at some point you have to start delegating. And I understood that if I was the one coding, I wouldn't be the one managing. So with time, I naturally became the manager rather than the doer, the coder. And then I just thought I don't think I should continue coding anymore, but I should leverage that skill that I have, that knowledge that I have, to help me with selecting the best people that can code for me.
Yeah, working on the business rather than in
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Amazing. And then, yeah, obviously you mentioned you got acquired by Bentley Systems, and then you come back out, spin out Techifide 2.0, effectively, more focused on recruitment.
Right.
What's going to be different this time round then?
Well, a lot of things are different this time. So whilst before any client was a good client, now we are focusing only on construction, tech construction. We call it AEC, architecture, engineering and construction. So that's the first focus. The second focus is I am not coding anymore. So I go do my consultancy, but not hands-on anymore. We have sales and marketing working with us, and a designer as well, who's helping with the posts and everything that we're doing on social media. We help clients with hardware, buying hardware in Brazil. It's not too simple.
Yeah.
You need local documents, and it's challenging there, but having someone that can support with that journey helps our clients, and they've been enjoying the facility that we give, how much we help. So I think that's the difference now. Was before none of this was part of the plan, really.
Yeah. And how are you? Obviously, things have changed a lot since I think it was 2021. Even since then, in terms of technology, AI coming to the forefront. Every week there seems to be a new edition of Claude or ChatGPT to be able to leverage to like expand or improve processes. How are you leveraging different tech at the moment, and how are you building that into Techifide that maybe you didn't have before?
Yeah, so we have our timesheet system, and it's the same timesheet as we had at the beginning, but we always needed something, for example, to that could tap into that system and generate the invoices from the help the contractors generate their invoices. Okay, because every month there was a problem. The invoices either came with a wrong dates, deadlines. Anyway, there's always something, and with 20 people, we started like spending too much time contacting them. Hey, there's a problem here. Can you fix it? So created using AI. I created a small separate application that taps into the timesheet system, uses the API from the timesheet system to generate that invoice. It's just a click, and it is done. So it reduced the number of mistakes to zero. It's been now 8 months since we started, I think. Yeah, so that's one thing. Another is obviously the ATS application tracking system that we use. It has an AI evaluator there. It rates CVs for us. We have to be very careful there, because also people are using AI to change and amend their CVs so that they score higher in the ATS. And I know that that's happening. So we are very careful there, not relying too much on it, but because it became really a war of AIs, right? So like, I use AI to filter you, so you use AI to take advantage of my AI. I think, and I think that's a good question, actually, because lately we had our first all hands with everyone from that's working with every client of ours, and I said to them, don't be afraid of this AI change now. Our clients are contracting more, if anything, not less, which is going against with what these future tellers are telling on the internet. Like, oh, AI is gonna there's not gonna be any developer in the future. No, they need more developers that understand very well software development and can code review the AI, but also developers that understand the business problems that you are solving, and they can talk, to to the client, to the companies. And so be the human, open your camera, be what the AI will never be able to do, which is have these conversations here.
Yeah.
That's how you're gonna survive this change. Yeah, that's where
Are they
the AI
called
is.
deployed engineers or something along those lines? So I've
Say
seen
that
that.
again. Sorry.
There's a term for this. I think it's for deployed engineers. I might be wrong, so don't quote me on this, but there's definitely a trend, especially in tech companies, where engineers that are client facing are getting put in there so they understand what's happening on the forefront and can actually come back to the product and then make it work in the way that the client wants it to work. I've seen that happen more and more as well, which, yeah, to your point, is still a very important job. It's not being completely destroyed overnight by AI, but AI is certainly helping. Yeah, it's interesting to see that. With the invoicing bit that you set up and coded, was that using your software developer knowledge, or is that something that you could have done with AI and Claude Code?
No, I used ChatGPT, not Claude, and I tried to use Claude to start, but then spaghetti code and functionality came out. What I realized then is that you can't ask too much for too much. So what then I did then was, okay, I'm going to build an application that does this. Let's start with the authentication part. So create an authentication that's based on this bit and that uses that data component and links to this API, and it just created that part. I then reviewed it and then checked. Okay, change here. There is some security thing that you haven't considered. Let's change it. And then went on and on and on until the application was finished. So I think I built in 2.5 days. Something that would have normally taken me 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks. So the speed with which I could finish the project was just mind blowing, really.
Yeah, amazing. I have to ask as well, obviously, you started Techifide 2.0 again in May 2025, but you've also taken on, you're a volunteer for, is it Resolution Project as a business mentor?
Yeah,
Amazing.
yeah, that's an interesting one. I worked with an international students organization called Enactus in the past, whilst I was in Bentley. So I helped. I created a competition for students.
Yeah.
Any 20-year-old is a child. For students to come up with ideas that tackle the sustainable development goals from the UN, but using Bentley software. Okay, so and then that competition just went on and big and grew, and we were in 5 countries and had thousands of students participating. It was really interesting journey. So, but then Enactus was acquired by Resolution Project, and I leaving Bentley, I also had to leave Enactus. I was board member there. So then George from Resolution, the CEO from Resolution, reached out saying, "Hey, would you like to help us here?" And I said, "Yeah, why not?" So now I'm mentoring someone in Zimbabwe who is creating a business there, very interesting business, basically on poultry and chickens and technology at the same time. So because there is the technology aspect in this project, that's what attracted me. Yeah. So the idea is that in Zimbabwe that you don't have infrastructure to and electricity everywhere, so farmers struggle to store and freeze the meat. So he's coming with these solar powered freezers to help the farmers.
Yeah.
And there is this mobile app that assists with controlling temperature, making sure that everything is going well. So yeah, it's an interesting project. It's been over 1 year now, I think, with him. Yeah,
Fantastic.
it's great.
And then you're there as a business mentor to help ideate and actually
Yeah,
execute
we meet
these.
once a week, and basically just challenge him. Have you thought about this? Have you thought about that? Yeah, he's still at uni, but big mind.
Very cool, very cool. So sort of leading on from that, obviously you've got this sort of tech background, you did the masters, you've set up your own company. What advice then would you give people that might be in a sort of niche themselves? They might be a developer or a recruiter, and they're looking at setting up their own agency or their own outsourcing company, for example. What advice would you give them for taking that first step?
Yeah. So what I say to my children as well is be multidisciplinary and find your niche. You know, so in my case, I like construction and I like software. These two worlds can't be more far apart. Construction is one of the, I think, is the last industry really to digitize. And yeah, so be multidisciplinary. Find that little thing that you can do that nobody else can, or very few people can. That's where your value really is.
Yeah. And would
And
you be a
be prepared for war, because it's not gonna be easy. That's for sure.
yeah, it's always choose your hard, you know. If you're working, you've got difficulties. If you're starting a company, you've got difficulties. You gotta be able to choose it. Would you recommend side hustles or burning the boats and going full in?
I think it depends uh, on your age and where you are in life. If you have family and children, please don't drop your job. If you live with your mom and daddy and someone can feed you, yeah, what could you lose? I mean, go all in.
All
That's
in.
Yeah.
Love, love it. Well, just as we're starting to wrap up here, is there any sort of other advice that you would give to people or any other thoughts about the world that we're going into? So this new AI era where people can start vibe coding things, or it's going to be easier to bring ideas to life. Are there any other sort of like thoughts that you would leave people with?
I think it's very difficult to foresee what's coming, really. The speed of change is just incredible right now. Um, you need to be flexible and change quickly. Uh, you need to think. Don't resist, really. Don't resist the tide that's coming, because you're probably gonna get hurt. Yeah, and use AI for anything that you need, really, without losing that human aspect. People are getting a bit sick and tired of images generated by AI and text generated by AI. Write your own thing. Maybe put it in ChatGPT and ask it just to improve it a little bit, but not change the essence. And yeah, and don't resist the tide. Is it's my
Yeah,
advice.
tide. That's a great a great sort of quote there, Ivan. Don't resist the tide. It's, there's no point fighting it. You gotta change or die, as a lot of people say.
Yeah, definitely.
Amazing. Well, yeah. One sort of last thing as well. If people are listening to this and they're looking for uh, engineers in construction, etc., wanted to reach out to you, what's the best way for them to reach out? LinkedIn, email?
Yeah, LinkedIn, or just visit techifide.com. Send us a message. We can respond quickly.
Amazing. Excellent. Well, thanks so much, Ivan, for coming on. Really interesting conversations and a lot of good nuggets there to take away.
You want me?
No worries. Thank you, everyone, for listening, and see you next time.